Hello, welcome back. My name is Caitlin. I am a lover of all things beauty. Back in November, I moved into my new apartment, as you see kind of here. Since then, I put my makeup away, but I did not fill up my everyday drawers that are in my main makeup vanity desk. So this desk here has two drawers. In the right, I generally keep all of my basic, super everyday things like eyelash curlers, mascara, brows, eye primers. And last year, kind of towards the end of last year, I made it so that I was also putting base products that I generally use on an everyday basis. So primer, a couple foundations if I felt like it, color correctors, things like that. I do have a couple things in there right now. So then the drawer on the left is generally where I would put bronzers, blush, highlight, any other eye products that I kind of want to get more use out of. Even though I keep most of single type eyeshadowy things in acrylic drawers on top of my vanity, but sometimes I like to pull them out just to remember to use them. So today I'm going to shop my stash to fill up these drawers. That will also sort of give you a good view of what the organization is sort of looking like of my makeup ever since I decluttered foundations, primer, concealer, bronzer, blush, highlight. If you haven't checked those videos out, I will leave them linked in the description below. And I have had not a large influx of new makeup, but I have gotten some new makeup since, a lot of that being eyeshadow palettes, but I digress. I'm going to start with taking out the things in the drawer on the right that I don't want to be in there. I only have a few things that I've been keeping in there that I've been using on an everyday basis, but there's a couple of those things that I haven't been using, so I'm going to go ahead and take those out. So what I currently have in there for primers and what's going to stay in here is the e.l.f. Putty Primer. It's the Cookies and Dreams flavor, scent, or whatever. And then my go-to every day that I've been doing is mixing the Auric Glow Lust with the L'Oreal Redness Eraser one. And the Glow Lust is the shade Morganite. So those two are going to stay in there. I had Auric Selenite in there, and just using that every once in a while if I wanted to add some warmth to my skin. I'm kind of feeling that I don't want to be doing that anytime soon, so I'm going to put this back in its drawer. And then two foundation or skin tints, I guess, that I've had in there are the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin, which I really like it, and it might end up going back in there. And then the Yves Saint Laurent YSL, the new Bare Look tint. I'm just going to put these in a foundation drawer right now, just that everything is all together. And then as I'm going through them, if I want to pull them back out, I will. All the other mascaras, brow products, eyeshadow primers, those are going to stay in there. My green color corrector I have in there, and then just a couple other random stuff that just sort of lives in there. So let's go shop my stash. The first thing I'm going to do is pull out cream blushes. I love blush. I wear a lot of blush. Generally, that's where my look is going to be focused around after the eyeshadow. So let's pull some blushes. I'm going to pull the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin. This is in the shade Bellini. It came in my Beautylish Lucky Bag, and I have not used it yet, so I'm going to pull this. And then, of course, I have to use some Phytosurgeon's blushes. They are my favorite. I, for the most part, wear at least one almost every day. Condensate for sure has to go in. It is my all-time perfect blush. If I don't know what I want to do, throw some condensate on, and all is right in the world. And then I also want to put in Ignite and Kindle. Those are the two newest shades. And then because the Finding Ferdinand khaki, the newest collection came out, which I didn't buy any of it. I wasn't really wanting to spend any money right now, and like I was going to wait maybe, but it doesn't matter. It was all sold out. And then they aren't going to restock it, which is kind of a bummer. They said they're going to give out the hex code, so I guess you can still end up getting it. But anywho's, I'm going to pull Latte, which is the lighter of the like beigey shades. And I think maybe that's it. I guess that's it for this. And then I'm going to pull, I got a bunch of the new e.l.f. blushes, so I'm going to pull a few shades of those. The Suave Mauve is great. And then for like a pop of color, the Pinky Promise. I used this Rare Beauty little sample blush in the shade Believe a couple times last week, I think, and I quite liked the color of it, so I'm going to pull this. And I think I'm going to pull this Danessa Myricks, does this one have a shade? The Nudist Cream palette, and I haven't used it in quite a while, and I'm just really into the cooler toned mauve-y whatever shades. This is great. Sometimes just like mix a whole bunch together. I'm going to pull this. I think that's going to be it for cream blushes. Now, powder blushes. These two Givenchy blushes in the shades 1 and 4. I really love the Givenchy powder formula. The like all over face powder is generally what I wear every day. Sometimes I mix it up, but I just love the finish that it gives to the skin, so I'm going to pull the two blushes. I'm tempted to get more. I mean, I don't need any more makeup at all, but these blush formulas are just so great. I've really been back into the Make Beauty. I kind of wish I also had more shades of these because I only have the Celestial Rose and then this one, which is Amber Glow. I kind of want like a more purpley mauve-y one, but I'm going to pull both of these. All right, and then I'm also going to pull RMS Hanky Panky just because it's a great winter blush shade. It is February here, all over. It's February. We've had some cool days. I think it's supposed to maybe be in the high 50s next week, which is crazy, but this is a great winter shade for me. All right, and then also in here, which this isn't blush, but it's like with all my face palettes, I'm gonna pull the Adept Gianna palette for the bronzer. The highlighters are like a little bit too deep for me, but I can put them into eye looks, but I really just kind of want to get some more use out of this bronzer shade, so I'm going to pull this. And I think that's going to be it for things from this drawer. This drawer, it's kind of looking a mess right now. I was able to throw all the highlighters with the cream bronzer contours, and then I have some like leftover blushes, cream blushes. So like all the liquidy, creamy, like cloud paint type stuff in here, and then just like a couple other random cream blushes in here, and then cream contour bronzers and all my highlighters, and then powder bronzers got shoved to the drawer on top. I'm gonna pull the Phytosurgence bronzer. This is in the shade Rosy Daybreak. This is a perfect bronzer shade for me, and I really enjoy the formula of it as well. And I'm also going to pull the Danessa Myricks Contour Balm thing in the shade 1. I've also really enjoyed using this. And I'm going to pull the e.l.f. Halo Glow Contour Wand thing because it's also kind of new, and I just want to keep using it. All right, and then last cream bronzer, I think I'm going to pull the Say Sun Melt in Fair Bronze. I feel like I just haven't used it for a while. or in a while. So I'm going to pull this. And I think that'll probably do it for cream bronzer contours. Now onto blush. I've really been enjoying the ColourPop Super Shock blush or highlighter formula. I have the shades Flexitarian. I'm going to pull this, and then I have the two Twilight shades, Meadow and Vampire Skin. So I'm going to pull all three of these. I've just been super impressed with the formula. It's the first time that I had used it, and I just have really been liking it. I'm also going to pull the Westman Atelier Peau de Pêche. This is a highlighter that's kind of like a sculpting highlighter for me, since it's too dark really to use on top of the cheekbones kind of. But if I use it in more of a blush placement, I like how that looks. Actually, okay, one more thing. The Fenty contour stick in amber, like this is screwed all the way to the top, so I kind of just want to pull this just so that I can finish it. Okay, and then I feel like I have to pull a Phytosurgence highlighter. Divine Daylight, I like that I've hit so much pan on it, but because I'm embracing like not adding a whole lot of warmth to the skin, I think I'm gonna pull Fresh Fog instead. And I have hit pan on this too, so it'll be nice to continue to use it up. And I think that'll be it from this drawer. I really have been liking the Glamlight Rick and Morty highlighter palette. I feel like though this is a very distinct choice. The Meadow shade of the ColourPop one has a pretty like pinky, not normal looking shift. So when I pull this, it'll be because like I'm intentionally seeking it out. I don't think I need to have it in my everyday drawer though. Same goes for the Friday the 13th one, and then also the Ghostface one of Glamlight. Okay, this is a drawer that has like runoff eyeshadows. Most of these are the Glamlight eyeshadows that I have, and I have a couple Kaleidos, and then also all of the powder bronzers that I have. I'm going to pull the Kosas bronzer. This is like a very shimmery bronzer. Sometimes that's a look I'm going for, but it is newer to me, so I want to keep using it. I had the old formula of the bronzer, and it was kind of terrible, and it hard panned almost immediately. This, I feel like it kind of has a weird smell, but like not like a gone off smell, just like a weird, I don't know. It's kind of hard to describe. So it's kind of not my favorite, but I didn't return it or anything, so I might as well keep using it. So I'm going to pull this. And then, again, I've just sort of been back on the Make Beauty train. So I'm going to pull the bronzer. It looks really dark and intimidating in the pan, but when you put it on the face, if you're like light-handed with it, it looks great. And I have the shade Lunar. And then I think that'll probably be it for the powder bronzer, because I also pulled that Adept face palette. So that'll be it for this drawer. Eyeshadow palettes. I had before been using like a little container that I would pull eyeshadow palettes from. Right now, because I have such an influx of like new eyeshadow palettes, they're all sort of within reach, and I generally have like a distinct palette that I know that I'm going to be using on any given day, so I don't feel the need to pull eyeshadow palette specifically for this Shop My Stash. This is all eyeshadow palettes. And then up in the very top are also just kind of random eyeshadow palettes. I thought maybe I had some singles in here, and I kind of have like a couple duos, but I'm just going to leave all of those in here. If there's something that I want to use, I will just go get it. In the very bottom drawer is where I have all the foundations that I'm like not really reaching for on a daily basis. I'm trying to think if there's any of them that I maybe want to pull, but for the most part I have everything down here that I'm just like not really reaching for right now. So the foundations that I'm probably going to pull are going to be from this white container drawer thing that I have my like favorite on rotation foundations. So I think I'm good for anything in here. So I think I'm set for the most part with primers. I've just really been enjoying using the Auric and that green color corrector, like mixing them together, and like that's just been working beautifully as a primer for me. For concealers, I'm going to pull the Kosas. I decluttered all the other ones because the colors were either like, what did I have? Like 3 different shades. None of them were perfect for me. I kind of had to mix and match them. Some of them were kind of empty, and then the other ones kind of started to smell bad. So this is one of the new shades, 0.7C. It is a better undertone for me. However, it is still just like a teensy tiny bit dark, but like blended out, it mostly looks fine. So I'm gonna pull this to continue to use. This House Labs concealer is still kind of new to me, so I'm gonna pull it to continue to use it and see how I feel. Same with this Live Tinted. I got it when Ulta was doing, they just had a discount on like some foundations and concealers, so I had picked this up along with the Dermablend concealer in the shade Natural 10C. It's a little bit too dark, but on blemishes I can make it work. The Live Tinted is shade 19. Again, just like a tad bit too dark, but I'm gonna pull all 3 of these to continue using. I've just been really loving the Tower 28 concealer. I have the shade BU, so I'm also gonna pull this. With this in the drawer, I might find it a little bit difficult to want to use some of the other ones, but that's okay. I still just like want to use it. All right, one last concealer, the Make Beauty Skin Mimetic. It's in the shade 03 Light C. I maybe need to look to see if there's a lighter shade than this. I'm not sure why this is the shade I would have chosen if it wasn't the lightest. I don't know, but it has a light enough coverage that the shade not being perfect isn't a huge deal, so I'll pull this to keep using. All right, I think that's gonna be it for concealers and primers. Again, as I'm sitting here, this is so easily within reach. Like if there's something that I want to be using instead, it's easy enough for me to just grab. Okay, foundations. I recently picked up the Misha ones. I got the shade number 21 because it was the most gray toned, but it looked like it was maybe gonna be a little bit too deep. So I got also number 13 to mix with it if needed. And Amazon had like a deal on them. We're basically getting both of these was the price is what one of them would have been. So I felt fine getting 2 of them. So I'm gonna pull both of these to use. And then I'm going to keep the About Face foundation out to keep using. Then I'm also gonna pull the Chanel Le Beige. I've used this for a few days last week and the week before, I think. Maybe it was just last week. And I feel like this is something that I could make a good run at finishing, so I'll pull that. And I think having 3 different face options is good. There's a lot of days where I just wear concealer as my like overall foundation, so I think what I've pulled is enough. All right, this is sort of what the top vanity drawers are looking like. All of my eyeshadow, like single eyeshadow, cream eyeshadow pots over on this side, and then over here I've got some random like Tom Ford quads, the smaller Natasha Denona's up here, Dior, Pat McGrath, my Makeup by Mario, and then like lips are all here into the bottom. So lips, I don't really need to pull anything for the drawer. I basically pick my lip based on the eyeshadow look that I've done. So that's like an everyday go seek out what I want to use type of thing. So eye stuff, I feel like there's some ColourPop Super Shocks that I want to get some use out of because I know that they dry up quite quickly. But also up here, so when I got the Twilight collection, I also had some other stuff in my cart from ColourPop, and 2 of them being the gel eyeshadow things. I got the shades Big Ego and this super neon green called Billionaire. So I want to use these. I don't think I've used them yet. I've swatched them. I don't know how quickly they're going to dry up or anything, so I'm going to pull those to use. Any other cream shadow base type thing, generally I'll like know if I want to be using it for like a specific look, so I don't need to pull any of those from my everyday drawer, I don't think. But of the Super Shocks, so the shades Kush and I Heart This, I want to pull. And then also the shade DGAF, that don't give a fudge. Was this from the reindeer collection? I feel like I got 2 pairs. Okay, so I think I'm good with the DGAF, and then the other 2 that I pulled, I'll stick with those 3 for now. Okay, cream eyeshadow. So I think for fun, I'm going to pull the Sephora Periwinkle Matte because it's like a nice pastel. I've been liking using pastel shades like in the inner corner. And then I'll also pull Khaki Matte just as like a base, I guess, if I want. Then I think that's it for eyeshadow sticks. Again, with the eyeshadow sticks, if there's something that I'm like wanting to use, I will go seek it out, and it's just sitting on top of my vanity, so that's fine. This next one down, I don't think I need to pull any of these. Again, these are kind of super specific. If I'm wanting to use one of these, I'll just pull it on the day. Same with all my phytosurgents, and I've got a couple other random like Maybelline things and a Revlon in there. I think I will pull, though, the Ritual Defy Cultist. I feel like this is maybe going to be drying up soon-ish. It's in the old packaging. I haven't used it in a while, so I'll probably give it some use and decide if I need to like declutter it or anything. And then I feel like I haven't used the Hourglass Scattered Lights in a while, so I'm going to pull Smoke. And Ray. And then I have these 2 Danessa Myricks things. The shade Kiss Me I got in my Beautylish Lucky Bag. To be honest, I feel like it kind of felt dried up before like I even opened it, so like and then I had purchased the Confetti shade. It was in a duo kit from Sephora. I don't know, I feel like the Kiss Me shade is sort of very specific, but the Confetti one is sort of one that you can just use like randomly as a topper kind of, so I'll maybe pull this, and then if I feel like I know that I want to do a look with this, I'll just come get it. Alright, next one down is eyeliners. Again, I generally pick those based on the eye looks that I've done, so I think I am good for everything to put in these drawers. So let's back up and I will time lapse me putting everything in. Just to sort of show what my like eyeshadow situation is looking like. So I've got the palettes in the black drawers, and then I have a couple drawers in the white little stand of drawers, but then everything else is over here. Like these are all of the, basically all of the indie brand palettes that I have. So I have all of the Fantasy Cosmetica, which are new to me, the Sinful Echos, again new to me. I do have the ColourPop Twilight one. I have my custom, like my version of the build your own of Twilight. I don't know if that video will be out yet. If it is, I'll put the link in the description. I have a couple other bigger ColourPop. My Ensley Rain 2 palettes just came yesterday. I got the Cold Moon and the Harvest Moon. I'm really excited to dig into those. I have a couple Menagerie Cosmetics. I've been super impressed with the formula of those. And then all of my Odin's Eye are here. I've got couple random Melt ones, my Hindash, couple random Pat McGrath ones. I got 4 of the Gourmand Girls and Doodles the Bunny, the 4 palettes that they collabed on together. I got all 4 of those. I've been super impressed with the formula of that eyeshadow brand also. And then I also have all of my Adept Cosmetics, my Nomad Cosmetics, and then Blend Bunny, and I have a couple Lunar Beauty palettes over there as well. So yeah, that's what's going on with the eyeshadow thing. The Unearthly palette that I also have would normally be over there, but I currently have it on my table, so that would normally live over there. But generally, on an everyday basis, I've been pulling from this situation of eyeshadow palettes. So I thought I would just kind of show you that, just so you can see what I've got going on. And that'll be it. I will, I guess, show you my face again to do an outro, so pause. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it, getting to see sort of what my makeup collection organization is looking like right now. After filling the drawer on the left, the one with all the blush, highlight, bronzer stuff, it still has like a lot of room that could be filled. So as the course of the next few weeks goes on, as I'm doing my makeup, if I'm feeling like I'm going into the black drawers repeatedly to pull something, those will probably just end up getting thrown into the everyday drawer. I feel like that kind of happens every time I do a Shop My Stash. This is just sort of a base to get me going, just so that I feel a little bit more organized and less chaotic when I'm doing my makeup every day, because every day I've just been going to the drawers and then just stuff kind of accumulates on the vanity, and so hopefully this will keep me a little bit less chaotic in the next coming weeks. So thank you for watching. If there's anything you want to see from me, let me know in the comments. And if you're new here and you like stuff like this, subscribe before you go. I would love to have you come back, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.